Live. Yay. Here we go.
Live.
Yay.
Yay. All right.
The
We're
rate
going
on
to
the
cut the show
dot.
real short. It's only going to be 41 seconds long today. Just kidding.
I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with 41 seconds. I mean, that's a good, that's a good effort there. You can't say nothing bad about it.
Yeah.
On her side. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem. I don't know what her problem is.
No, but we really should cap it at 45 minutes to an hour. Literally, I got to get up with the booty butt crack of dawn. And,
yeah.
Yeah. Because
it's not like we're not working on anything, right?
Well, I have an event that starts tomorrow. We're going to have 3 vehicles out at the Hangtown Motocross Classic in Prairie City. So, yeah, I got to get the Soulgasm out there. We're going to install. We don't need these fans for this event, but as soon as this event is over, it goes to Slam and it doesn't come back to the install bay. So, do that. And then we turned on Jim's new build. We've been calling the guillotine or the guillotine, the Gilly.
The Gilly? I like this other name better.
Because it'll rip your fucking head off or it'll choke your fucking ass out. That's what the plan is, right? It's, 918s in a 4th order with a truckload of fucking power and a gang of steel.
Yeah.
The only thing we haven't sorted out yet is the windshield. So we don't expect that to last long at all.
No.
We're working on things. But yeah.
I feel like you got to call the safe light guy when Byron goes to a show, and like you get in, you're like, I'll be easy on it, and Byron just watches you, and the window goes, and he's in the background. He's like, safe light repair, safe light replace. Here comes.
Well, you're gonna have to extreme the inside of both of those. You're gonna have to. I don't.
Gonna have to do something. Yeah.
I mean, unless you do a double, I guess. That'll probably work, but I don't know if those doubles have seen any vehicles with this pressure yet.
I don't. I'm not a 100% believer in the double, but what I am a believer in is I'm going to make a mold, and I am going to thermoform some 1-inch acrylic.
I watched them do that with a canopy they were building for. It was like a jet, and they were building like a whole model, and they built the canopy, so like the cover, the canopy over the cockpit, and they literally did it with either Lexan or plexiglass, whatever it was. But yeah, they heated it in a huge oven, and then they had built a wooden mold, and then they had like 6 people grab it, take it out of the oven, and go put it on there, and they molded it to it, and it was the coolest thing ever. So I picture you and all of your. I've been
studying it a bunch. Those thermoform molds you pull out of an oven. They used flannel. You upholster it with flannel, and that's the surface because that doesn't react to the heat, and it doesn't mar up the surface much at all.
So you're saying you're going to take all of your old flannels, and
I'm just going to get one that would fit you.
I mean, that's better because the last time I was in your office, I tried them on and it did very well.
So, Bob, you're going to make a mold out of wood that is
out of a windshield. I'll take a windshield. I'll get an actual windshield, and I'm going to do it from the inside, right? Because I want my heated acrylic to come over the piece. I don't want to try to cup into it because that'll be more difficult. So I'm gonna take a mold off the inside of the windshield, not in a vehicle, just a raw piece of glass, and then I will cover it in tape very, very accurately. You get some fucking 3-inch masking tape, and you put a strip down, and then you overlay half, and you overlap half until it's fucking perfect all the way across, and then you put a little mold release on it. You do a fiberglass layer, a couple of good layers of fiberglass, maybe 3/16 of an inch thick of fiberglass, and then we have wood components. I'm going to make a mold. I'm a mold builder. That's what I used to do. So then I'd make wood components that fit that pretty accurately, and I fill that with fiberglass reinforced Bondo, and I mush that onto that. Then I have 4 stout ribs of this structure that really hold together. Glass that a little bit more so that it's super duper solid. Let it heat cycle a couple times, and then I pop that thing off, sand it a little bit, wrap it in the flannel material, and then I get and then I got I got a powder coat guy down the street that I talked a little bit about this with months and months ago, and I'm like, hey, let's
You got a big ass oven.
try this. What's that?
He has a big oven you could use.
Yeah, you got a fucking massive oven, so it might be a thing where I gotta like pay him enough money to like not be powder coating things or something. You know what I mean? It might be an expensive process, but I'm gonna be like, and I'm learning, so I kind of show up like 4 pieces ready to go. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, fuck that one up, and like fucking next one. You know? So yeah.
Yeah, we actually formed a piece of plexiglass yesterday. That area where my license plate used to be, that was
Yeah.
dented in that we cut out.
Yep.
So my buddy brought over it was like a half
Map
inch.
gas torch.
No, I just used the heat gun.
Oh.
Heat gun and weight.
Yeah.
It took a while, but
Yeah.
just kept putting more and more weight and more heat until it pretty much got.
It was convex the way you wanted it to be. How thick was that?
Huh?
How thick was that material?
It's a half inch.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, and then we're just going to use window urethane. Same thing for the windshield. Put it on there and put some weight on it, and just let the glue basically hold it in place. Even though it's not perfectly flat everywhere, it just still needs a little bit of, pressure to get perfect, but it's very little. So the glue should.
I will say that if you do, so Bobby turned down a long time ago about painting like the backside, like a border on plexi. But we did the seat plexi on the Suburban, and we used weather stripping adhesive to put it on, and it negatively reacted with the paint. So I would be careful with what you're using there on epoxy or whatnot.
We're using the same thing, the 3M.
Oh, okay, like the heated urethane tube.
Just the same stuff that goes on your windshield. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we like to use windshield adhesive for lots and lots of shit around here now.
Do you
like
have
when
one of
we
the
do
cool
wood roofs
heaters?
now, we'll do the wood roof, we'll laminate it with PL3X, and then and then like the metal pieces that go between all the wood slats now, we will adhere them to the wood and to the shield with windshield adhesive, and then we have no fucking squeaks. Because the roof of my van was a squeaky bitch, and now the motherfucker is solid and perfect. So yeah.
I wonder when I'm gonna have my ride shared by Kicker. Shit, one of these days.
Well, now that you got all
Hey,
Kicker,
Drew,
it's
you're
probably
muted.
all right.
Drew, we can't hear you. Just so you know.
Drew, we can't hear you, bud.
I hear you.
He's busy. Take a message. Bobby, do you have one of the cool heaters for that urethane? For the window stuff? Hey, if you ever go to the window shop, they'll have like 3 tubes, and it's literally heater because it's supposed to be at a temperature before they apply it to put the windshield on. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
They make a heater for those tubes.
Well, I'm not in a frozen place, so we're good.
I suppose you can just leave it outside for 10 minutes, and it's probably up to temperature, good to go.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back to this. I was like, all right, what are you talking about? What? And something about Big did dummies call out Drew in his last video without a response. Someone called me out, I guess. I don't know.
Dude, I saw that video of that bass knob that you were using. I'm gonna need to give me one of them.
Dude, that LF knob it's not cheap by any means, but it's bougie. I like that.
I've been wanting to build something like that. I was actually going to call it the Better Bass Knob, and this is like 4 or 5 years ago, and I wanted to essentially do a lot of the things that you're doing, but I wanted it to talk to the amplifiers. So
that's what he that LF Audio guy posted a video of like the knob installed in an amp measuring stuff out the amplifier.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was a Ruthless 10K that he was working with, and I will be likely doing similar shit with that. That guy's so fucking smart. It's amazing. I am all the way on board to have all my amplifiers have all of that awesomeness feature. So we've been talking about well.
I think your mic, somebody's mic's got feedback. Do you guys hear that, or is it just me?
Yeah,
I think it's Drew's TV.
No, somebody's got weird. Like, do you have 2 things playing sound? Anyone?
I don't.
Here, if each one of us mutes.
All right. How about now? Take it off. Is that better?
Yeah.
Might have been that.
Yes. There you go.
Oh,
Yep.
that was weird. What was it? Oh,
Um.
I was
Where
muted.
was sitting?
Yeah, it's doing it right now. Not doing it. All good now. It's all your fault, Andrew. Yep. Man, I need to get a fucking haircut, like real bad.
I don't know what happened. I was gone.
I look like shit.
There we go.
Drew, we can't hear you again.
Everybody say something.
How about now?
Hi.
All right,
we can hear you
test
now.
1 2 1 2. All
Am I
right,
good?
I changed.
All right.
All right, am I better now? Do I sound like a?
Yeah.
I sound like a good
So sexy in
proper
that.
candidate.
So I guess the big D, I guess it's about Big D. When I said that bass knobs don't measure clipping in amps because they don't, they just measure a preset voltage point coming out the amplifier. And he used a kicker amp to prove that it measures close to clipping. Like, yeah, use one of the like most well engineered amps on the market. Great. Now do it again with a budget amp and show me with 20% off.
I always thought it was.
I watched some of the kicker live yesterday.
I did too. I'm gonna rewatch the whole thing, dude.
And they actually talked a little bit about the clip light right away in the first like 20 minutes.
Yeah, because like, well, kickers is going to be, very accurate. This is what they do. But like, use like any cheap S&I amp. Those clip lights could be off by 10 to 20%. I've said the game.
In either direction. In either direction, like
I generally find that they light up early, which is not a bad thing, but like I measured I set a JP63 once and the clip light came on the knob like 20 volts before it actually ran into distortion.
But I think with that though, I'm not 100%, but I think the JP amps were an older design. That's why they were so budget friendly and economical. So
yeah, and the cheaper the amp is, obviously,
right. Yeah. I would say SNI has been pretty solid. I would say Xenon though, like I don't know. But again, it's one of the things to actually like sit and measure it. You brought up the kicker. I always think this is entertaining because kicker and like Rockford, for example, they're not known for having like the craziest amplifiers in the world. They're high power, this, that. I mean, they've done some one-off projects, but it's like if people knew like how many people have worked on, say, an amplifier line for kicker, it's like they don't make like even what I was doing. It's like you order 500 amplifiers and you think that's a lot. It's like they order like 10,000 at a time. Rockford owns the factory. Like they literally like they have hundreds of people. They have employees all over the world that are like working and engineering these products. And like you said, Drew, they're like they do this for a living. They're very well engineered, and it's not a build house building 25 of the different things. It's literally their product.
When I heard the number of how many CX amps they Kicker brought in a couple years ago, like per year, it was just
it's incredible at the level of like
mind-blowing.
what they do. It's
I highly advise everybody watching to watch the Kicker Unmasked from yesterday, because it's basically all about the Kicker Warhorse amps that are about to come out.
And it's Joe. It is
engineering. Yeah, you'll learn everything about the amp from not just like its features, obviously, but like the engineering that went behind it.
Did they fix it so you don't?
It's all kinds of stuff that, like the incredible low noise floor on these amps and the way that they deliver power, like super flat until that clipping point where they go basically vertical. Like I guess I didn't know this, but that's pretty much like what you want an amplifier to do is deliver its power basically flatlined until it gets that 1% THD, and then it should basically go vertical from there. And getting your amp to do that is very difficult, but you'll see if you watch Unmasked that these amps are very close to doing that.
What I liked about it was you get Joe, right, the director of engineering at Kicker, explaining all this very high level stuff in a way that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's super great to learn stuff.
Yeah, cool shit. So what do you got going on, Andrew? Tell us about your build. What's going on?
Oh, I got about 700 hours of work to do in the next 7 days. Is how I feel.
You got plenty of time. You're gonna be okay.
I feel like Bobby, you and I have had this discussion like 3 years in a row. Like, I don't think I'm going to make it, man. I don't know if I'm going to come. And you're like,
I'm with
you're
you.
good. We're good. We'll be good. I did send Steve a ton of pictures going back. So
It's going right
it
now.
was probably in January. I'll say that we kind of decided that, what am I going to do with the Suburban? Where are we at? Obviously, I'm not running any of the B2 stuff anymore for said reasons. But yeah, this was kind of like starting off on, back in January. It's like, well, the plan was to get the shitty wood out of it. That was like the start of this. The baffle, I couldn't hold subwoofers in to save anybody's lives for any purpose. Like,
I think I vaguely remember that when I heard it.
Yeah,
What
that
wood
was
it?
that was at the barbecue. So it's funny
Yeah.
because I actually ordered 3/4 inch from Menards, waited for it, got it, and it was like a bunk and a half. And I went down there, and the half of the bunk was the good, like 13 ply or 11 ply, and the rest of the bunk was shit. It was like the real shitty 3/4 inch. And we were like, we've got a steel baffle, and like, or steel underframe. We got all this, like, oh, it'll be fine. Nope, it's not fine. Kids, don't use shit wood ever. Ever, 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 ever don't do it.
He was
Because
like telling me, he's like, it's going to be okay. I'm all, it's not going to work. The subs aren't going to stand. I was like, let's make steel rings to bolt around. Otherwise,
so that was
rip out of the box. I'm like, sure. I think you can get through a fucking show without subs.
That was
jumping up and
after
down.
the fact. Yep. So it was.
Don't
it was
you
a
hate
lot.
when he's right?
It's
So
Bobby's right. Sometimes.
Almost like he knows how to build boxes or something.
I mean, this is like a while ago. There you go. There's the poopy
look
wood.
at that. It just like fell apart.
Dude, it was like it was amazing on how much it had come apart. So originally that was all 3/16 kind of angle iron underneath there, and that's how we kind of built a lot of that structure. And like I said, we just had problem after problem after problem, and it was just like it was never ending. And so we decided, well, let's pull the baffle off and let's just rebaffle it. And then it's like, oh, look at all of these broken welds, and like, look at this and look at that. And it just slowly got to be more and more. And we decided, you know what, like, we're just going to pull everything out.
The welds were breaking?
Dude, there was broken welds on the bottom side of it.
The guys on Hydro Bank told me that any weld will work. That's what they told me.
It's funny because if you go down a little bit, Steve, that center brace there, it was actually broken. Like at the bottom tab there, it was broken at that weld right there.
Right here.
And that was part of what was causing a shitload of my noise, was one of the broken welds right there. So yeah, I
remember you talking about that too. You said there's like a weird noise coming from the center.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro, like I could hear it, but it still sounded so good. Like the truck was.
Well, and that was the thing, is like, when we went through a lot of this stuff, I didn't really have a plan. It's like, cut the floor out, did this, did that. And it was just literally like nights and weekends, just, trying to figure out what the hell we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and when I built this box, originally it was too big. So we ended up filling the back with foam to gain a little bit more cone control, because it's fourth order, and it was too big for 12-15s. And so we decided to fill it with foam to go to slam, and then it performed really well. That's the year we went and ripped everybody's face off and did the deadlift demo thing, and like that was like the year. It was good. There was a lot of underlying problems. It ran like shit. I remember Bobby, dude. So and this is a picture of the underside of it there. So like I took everything out. That's what a lot of people don't get about the Suburban, is it's like there's so much more. There's air ride. There's a ton of stuff that goes underneath the vehicle. So yeah, it was pull everything out and kind of like start over with a lot of it. Design battery box to do. There's 4 G80s and 4 G50s in there. So there's a shitload of limitless Gorilla amplifiers. And then so cut the floor out, and just it goes on and
Gorilla
on and on.
Batteries. So,
What's that?
You said Gorilla amplifiers.
Sorry,
Gorilla batteries.
Gorilla
There's gonna be guys looking for fucking Gorilla amplifiers if you're not careful.
They're googling it right now.
Yeah, they're fucking on that shit. They're gonna be mad. They're like, "Oh, fucking dude, he's a liar."
I googled 3 minutes. He owes me $1.
So we had the box all out, we had the baffle out, everything, sitting out, and it was like, all right, we're gonna fix all these little problems and this and that, and I remember I was sitting there, I was looking at Easton, I was like, I think we could do 12-18s, and he's like, dude, there's no way, and we started doing the math and kind of measuring out. I was like, I think 12-18s will work, and with 100 cubes, like 12-18s in the fourth is probably going to be a lot happier than 12-15s were. So yeah, that was kind of the undertaking and the thought process here. But yeah, that was demolition and cutting that foam out. Dude, that foam, the first time I ever seen anybody using that foam, I think it was Hunter Martin. And I don't remember.
16-pound pour foam?
Yeah. I don't remember what he was doing it on, but that's what it was back. It might have been.
Or the bully goat.
It might have been. I don't remember what. It was a while. It was like a long time ago.
The person that we found that stuff from was Justin Morrison, Beer Based Mafia.
Oh yeah. Because I remember somebody drove a screw into it and like couldn't pull the screw out with a hammer.
No, they drilled and tapped a hole in it and then
that's what it was.
And hit it with a torque wrench. It was showing the torque that it was handling.
Yeah, that I remember that was the video. And when I was talking, I was like, "Well, we're gonna do foam." It's like, well, people think foam and they're like, go down to Home Depot and get foam. I'm like, no. There's like two part foam. But anyways, cutting that shit out, and I mean, literally, you had to cut it out. You couldn't.
Yes, like cutting wood,
dude. Yeah. It was
like, looks like wood. That's wild.
It was like cutting spicy wood that like burns your eyeballs as you're cutting.
CA wood,
dude. It was so bad.
What did you guys use? Sawzall or something? Or
yep, Sawzall, multi-tool, pry bar, and hammer.
Like I've never used it, but I want to use it on something. I didn't realize how aggressive it was. I watched Derek Haddock use it in Project SPL, and he's like, gotta be careful because if you pour too much into like one of these side panels, he's like you'll buckle the side of your truck. I said you'll do what?
So I had a
my roof. It did it to my roof, 100%.
Yeah, I had a foam catastrophe actually. It was really funny that Easton was in the box, and we're taking and we're pouring it in like in pours, so to speak, because you don't know how much you're going to need. And I had maybe mixed it a little bit too long with the drill mixer because it changes colors like. And once it changes colors, you got about a minute to pour that. Otherwise, you're and we were mixing like big like I was doing like a gallon at a time, like a big big unit.
How much expansion do you think you were getting out of yours?
So 16,
like 2x, 4x. What are we talking?
16 pound is supposed to be 2x.
Yeah,
pound is supposed to be 4.
I was gonna say it was probably at least 3 to 1.
Okay.
I gotta find what. I was a bit 2 or 3 to 1. It was like you did a gallon, but it would expand and it was fast. It didn't take more than 20 minutes and it was done.
Yeah.
But you mix it and once it goes like it changes colors and then changes colors again and you're like, all right, dude, I gotta go. And so like I take this thing and I
30 to 60 seconds to pour that shit.
Yep. And I've got this thing here and I've got it in my hands and I'm going to hand it to Easton and it's starting to go and I'm like, I made the decision. I'm like, what is this going to explode? Like in the box, and I'm like, and I run over to the trash can and it like overflows. It was like a volcano of foam, dude. It was shooting out and it was everywhere. It went all down my arms, all down the front of my shirt. And I'm like, Chet, and I throw this thing down, and Easton comes out of the box. He's like, what the hell happened? I was like, I was not quick enough, and maybe I mixed it a little bit too much. But like, I was literally like, both of my arms, my front of my shirt was covered in foam. Trash can was smoldering. The bag's melting because it's so hot.
Yeah,
it was a good time. It was a good time. I learned right then that like, as soon as it changes the second color, like you'll see it change the first time, and you're like, okay. And as soon as it changes the second time, then you go. You got to go. You got 30 seconds to pour that, or it's gonna fucking explode.
So we just did 30. I'm sorry, not 30. The 16-pound expanding foam in the cowl opening, like where the windshield wiper shit goes on both the Soulgasm and on the guillotine. Wow. We had welded in a bunch of steel first and reinforced it, and then we filled that shit with the 16-pound. And Colt and Tyson were like, this stuff must be bad now because it's been sitting in my shop for, like 5 years since I bought it. And he's like, this must be bad now because it didn't expand very much. And I was like, I don't know if it expands very much, but
That's what I like about it.
We also mixed in a shitload of fiberglass chop to make it stronger. I didn't know if it needed that, but I think once it cured, it for sure made it fucking stronger.
Dude, like that foam that I had, you could have took a sledgehammer, and I mean, you could have hit it as hard as you could, and it would have been like a maybe a 1/4 inch dent. That shit was strong. But
so when I ordered all mine for the Explorer, I ended up getting some 8-pound on accident instead of 16-pound, and I called them thinking they made the mistake, but it was me. And the guy on the phone, he said one way I could kind of get it to go from 8 to 12, like somewhere in the middle, is if I put it in the fridge and get it down basically for hours, get it basically fridge temperature, and use it straight from there and mix it just like you normally would.
Oh yeah.
Do it while it's really cold. And he said then it'll basically expand 50% or whatever. That the calculation was however much less to make it into 12-pound versus 16.
So what you're saying
depending on the temperature you mix that at, it does make a big difference on how much it expands.
I see.
Well, and
so he was probably toasty warm in his heated fucking shop space at the time. Whereas like me and the guys, we happened to be doing both those early in the morning here, where it was probably only 55.
It does make it. I have noticed a difference in the temperature 100% when you pour it. And getting it all out of the box. I mean, I hope that wherever you pour that shit, you don't ever have to take it up, because this picture here was. There used to be it used to be caged around this, so it's like the bottom of the box, like, and there used to be 1x2 3/16 steel that like caged around it, and the amount of volume that I lost by doing that, it was like, and they're not even, the wheel wells aren't even, and it's the way that the tub was done, so it was either cut all of that out and start over, or put down like 5 layers of fiberglass and maybe make this a little bit stronger. So that's what I ended up doing, was fiberglassing it.
Yeah. Let's see what's next here.
What we got there? Yeah, there's more of the. So that's the base of the back of getting created. That's a piece of 3/16 2x2 that weighs like 45 pounds. That bracelet's going across. That was kind of like it was like the foundation of what the rest of the baffle was going to get built around. But yeah, we rebuilt the entire baffle again, started over from scratch, and it's way stronger this time.
You always learn the second time around.
Yeah.
Well, you learn the first time.
Well, and so like the sides, if you zoom into the sides of each of those, they're bolted through. So there's steel cage on the outside. But then it's actually like I drilled all the way through, and then I tapped that, and so it's bolted into the outside cage through the shell of the box as well. So there's a shitload of adhesive on the back of them, and then it's bolted all the way through, and then it's all welded together.
For everybody watching, stuff like this is what makes builds the way they are. Like obviously, good equipment's going to help. Good design, whatever. If you don't make it strong like this, it's not. Strength is the key to everything.
I promise people look at this picture and underestimate the amount of. Dude, that's 3/8.
Like if you can't bounce a truck off of your wall or your enclosure, start over.
Yeah,
there's a reason Bobby is so confident when he says Ray drove a truck on top of one of his prefab boxes.
Yeah, that baffle right there. It's literally 3/8. That is 3/8 steel.
Awesome.
That is not 3/16. Like that is 3/8. Like get out a tape measure and look at that, dude.
You can see it right on the front lip right here at the bottom.
Dude, that's thick. It's thick. Each one of the so I think I can't remember because I had to buy the whole sheet, and it's obviously it's by pound, but it was much. It was incredible. Like I have all of the cutouts from them, and I use them around the shop, and I bet you they're probably 25 pounds each cutout.
Yeah, I was gonna do a steel baffle for mine too, but
dude,
I tried buying it like a year into the COVID fiasco, and it
Oh, that
was
was by
it was
multiple
like
thousands of
4
dollars.
times as much as I paid for the first
Yeah.
sheet. I was like, no fucking
Yeah.
chance. I'm paying $1,000 for 3/16 steel. So I was like,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah. No, the 3/8, I think that was about $800 cut.
See, that would have been worth it, but
That's
not,
not
Yeah,
bad.
years
that's
wasn't available.
that's
That's-
not bad. It's a giant pain in the ass to work with because like so the every one of the holes is drilled and tapped. So like I ended up renting a mag drill. I don't know if you know what a mag drill is, but
Yeah.
that was the best thing because how are you gonna like drill these straight? You gonna get in there with a hand drill and you're gonna no. Like
Yeah,
the
and you
mag
kept it
drill.
on a drill press, I mean,
Oh my god,
shit.
man!
Imagine
If
trying
they
to
cut
like
that shit on like a fucking fiber laser, you should have them punch those holes.
Dude,
What we
so
typically do on things that we have steels, we punch the holes and then we put bolts through and we weld a nut to the backside all the way.
I don't have. I sent them in different batches, so you should have another. Oh yeah, there you go. So I don't have a fiber laser here, Bobby. All I have is HD plasma, and so we had them touch off the plasma on all the holes so that they
Oh,
were all.
excellent. Okay, cool.
But
so you at least got a mark.
No, don't ever fucking do that. Don't ever do that with the plasma.
Did it make it hard? Did it make it really hard?
Yes, when the plasma touches it, it hardens that steel.
Yes, you can't drill through the
So,
motherfucker.
dude, I
sure.
bought more 1364. Every one of every type of drill, but you could 1360. Every one of them, like cobalt, high
but
strength.
he's like
steel,
scarred. He
all
knew
of
the
them.
exact size. He's like 1364.
No, it was 1364. I bought
knew
like
it right
12 drill
away, dude.
bits.
Yeah.
So yeah, on top of that, so doing all this, we decided that it would be a good idea to pull the engine out and assess all of the shit that I always wanted to do and never
That's one of
did.
those. While we're here,
It was like it won't be that bad type of deal, but
it is
I fixed-
always that bad.
It was definitely that bad.
well, so the Suburban always ran like shit. So that's the replacement. What I came up with here. It's just a slight. There's just a
Boy,
slight change.
sir, there's a turbo attached to your motor.
is
I'm not
it?
sure if you're aware of this. I mean, there's a
It's just
motor
a-
attached to your turbo. My mistake.
Yeah, that's it. That was an
That's
early
fine.
on picture. That alternator that's on the left hand side there is no longer there. I'm just running the Ford.
What motor is it, Andrew?
So it's a 355 Vortec motor that's been completely rebuilt. It's all balanced. I bought it from a shop locally here. And then yeah, it's got a Borg Warner T4 turbo on it. And
If you don't take that thing down the drag strip at every event, come on now.
so I'm pretty sure right now if I try to do a burnout, like
You need
back
all that
will
just to move the thing around.
the rear end will fall out. Like,
Dude,
it-
full
like,
full 2-step launch to get on the
Lift
trail.
that fucking drive shaft like a
dude,
Twizzler.
so that's like I don't know what will break. So anyways,
everything
dude,
will all break.
so-
Transmission gone, drive shaft gone, rear end gone, rip a wheel apart, the full fucking goddamn
well, you
thing.
think about it, dude. It's so heavy. I mean, it's 9,000 pounds. So it's like I could if I put some like shaved tires, I could probably do a sick burnout. But with the tires that are on it right now, I feel like it would just like I don't know what would happen. Like the frame's not gonna move, but so a lot, dude. Everybody asks me about
If you
this.
do it aired down, do the tires touch the fenders when it's aired down?
Pretty close, yeah.
If they don't,
I mean,
so my buddy Josh had this fucking sick ass OBS Chevy on a badass air suspension back in the early 2000s when if you were laying frame on air, that was kind of new, and it was pretty fucking badass. And he had done a little bit of motor work and stuff, and it was a fucking beast. And he was at this car show, and they were discussing whether or not his tires touched, and he was like, no, I made sure that they didn't. And then they were talking about it, and he was like, watch. And he like fired his truck up, and he did the gnarliest like frame laid fucking burnout, like, and it was like shifting gears because all the weight was off the tires. So it was like wheel speed was like 110 miles an hour, and it was like the craziest fucking smoky burnout anybody had ever seen.
so
And it was like only like a 500 horsepower truck, and it was fucking nuts. And then he got thrown out of that event, and they were fucking pissed.
well, and so you know, with the stack here, a lot of people ask are like, I agree with everybody that like this thing looks ridiculous. It kind of looks like shit. Like what the fuck? But One of the biggest problems, if you came and found me 2 years ago at Slam, dude, the whole Deadliest Demo thing, people left. Like they left and walked around the whole event and came back, and I was still sitting in the Suburban an hour and a half later. Like I hadn't stopped. We were still playing, still demoing, and I'm like dead. I'm dying. It's so hot. And all the heat would run down the exhaust, and it would get trapped underneath the vehicle, and it would just turn into like a cooker. So it was so ungodly hot that I started thinking about this. I was like, all right, we got this turbo, we got this. Like, what am I gonna do for downpipe? And I'm like, I'm gonna do a hood exit. Like now, guess what? There is no exhaust running down. There's no exhaust running under the car. I don't have the problem anymore. Really dump it out the hood. Problem with it is that the hood dump is awesome, and you guys will hear it at Slam. Like it sounds like it's amazing. It's NASCAR turbo. But you can't give demos like that. Like you like NASCAR demo. I don't think the two of them are going to go hand in hand. So I needed something to quiet it down. So there's I
don't want to hear a muffler. I want to hear full rip, 2-step for the turbo for the.
I mean, we could. I got. It's funny because I actually partnered with Ace's Fuel Injection, and they hooked me up with a full engine management kit. You know, it's really similar to like the Holley Sniper unit. A little bit different. I like this one because it has an extra like an ECM that's separate. Because like the Holley ones are like built inside of the unit, so like if anything ever happens to it, it's like in the intake, and I don't like that. And you can kind of see it sitting off to the side there, but.
Yeah.
Can you make it shoot a fireball out the top?
Yes.
Do that shit.
Yeah. I
mid deadliest demo.
Yeah. Now, if you want to make it the super deadliest demo, you could actually run that pipe right into the cabin. Just
I mean, if you die, you die. It is what it is.
Deadliest demo for sure.
The nice thing now is that it fires up and it runs, and I don't have to. I remember Bobby was like, "Man, you got to bring it over to the booth," and I'm like, "I don't want to move it, and it's raining, and it doesn't have brakes. Like, I don't feel safe moving this 10,000-pound death trap that I can't see out of. I can't see nothing. I can't see behind it. I can't see out of the windows. Like, I need someone directing me where I'm going." What we're doing,
dude. People don't realize that's how a lot of these extreme vehicles, especially the bigger vans, are. You can't see nothing. Like to move Duncan's van around, like you need like 2 people to safely move it around.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I drove the shit show into SEMA that year, van. And there was a lot of exhaust fumes coming into that vehicle while I was fucking driving it. I was like, this is fucking gonna kill me, and. I don't know how the fuck John Raby fits in that fucking thing because I didn't fit very well at all. And that dude is a foot taller than me. But I oozed that thing into SEMA and I was like, this is fucking ridiculous to operate at all. Well, I don't know, man. Fucking watching Steve Barber fucking on the freeway doing like 55 in his fucking in the Explorer after fucking SEMA Fest was pretty gangster. I was like, that is an extreme vehicle on the freeway.
Yeah.
Like,
I was tired. I was like, it's either go home, get the trailer, come back, all that bullshit.
Steve, have you weighed that thing yet?
No, I'm going to do that. I might do that actually Saturday because there's a show I'm trying to get to local, which would be a good tune-up show for Slam. So if I get it loaded up, I'm gonna there's a scale just down the street. See what it weighs. I'm gonna guess. Actually, that's what everybody watching. You should guess, and whoever gets the closest to it, I will. I'm gonna give them something. I'll find something.
I bet it's 7,900 pounds.
I think it's in the 7s, but I don't think it's that high. I'm gonna say 70.
I was referring to if I was driving.
72.
Hey, yo. Like me and Andrew in the front seat. How much does this thing weigh?
I would tell you what, I have driven with Steve in that vehicle down the strip, full tilt demo. Like that happened before it was a extreme cabin build. It's always been an extreme build, but
it is unbelievably loud right now.
I remember thinking louder than you thought it was going to be.
And that's what I've heard from a few different people. I was just in Vegas a couple weeks ago, Steve. I was there for Motorola, and I was like, I need to hit you up. And then I was busy and this and that, and I felt really bad. And I was like, it's coming to SEMA, so like, I'll see it.
Yeah, it was in pieces. You wouldn't have been able to hear it anyways. I mean, I just turned it on. We got it done Sunday night, basically done-ish. And I've just been doing small stuff since then. But yeah, it's playing. There's some tuning stuff I still need to do. I was under the assumption that I could just run the amps in comp mode and let the DSP do everything, which I could do if the DSP had a channel for each amp. But the way I'm running it is I've got one channel from the DSP running 3 amps because I'm only using 3 channels of the DSP as sub outputs. So,
are you doing time alignment on there or something?
They share the chamber, it won't be effective. I mean,
no. So basically,
far,
if I
in
want
my experience, if they share the chamber, it did not help.
If I want to match the gains or the AC output, I need to not run in comp mode.
Have you checked to see how close they are already?
That's the first thing. So I was about to say that. We're going to check how close they are right away, and if they're, within, I don't know, if 5,000, let's say at 4,000.
If they're within a volt or two at a low voltage, I'd let it ride.
Yeah,
because it shifts so much with power. Like as we're all discovering as we all learn this shit. Like Duncan's van, we matched them very evenly at 20 volts, but you turn it up to 120 volts, but there's like 10 to 20 volt swings between amps. It's huge.
Right. And are you doing?
Can you adjust them there then, Drew?
You can, but then they're going to be wildly off the other direction or different.
Well, at low voltage, it being a little off isn't as detrimental. When you're really fucking chooching along and you're giving it the business, all of a sudden one of them seeing fucking 30 more fucking volts, and all of a sudden those subs are injured.
But it's also frequency dependent too, because like in Duncan's van, the higher notes, he has that sub issue he's been talking about. It's a higher frequency thing. So the higher the frequency goes, the worse the issue gets. So at lower frequencies, they may be more aligned in power, and then as it shifts, it goes off even more.
I have found the most effective way to deal with that is do like what you're doing. Set them low, or I mean even without a static load on them, and then use peak hold on your multimeter, and do a burp and just start burping between them.
That's what. So Steven is actually right now doing burps in his van, measuring every stuff right this minute.
Sure, the fucking neighbors love that.
Well, I mean, because if you have
the fuck is that?
they probably know by now. Because you can measure, without a load, and you can set your voltage. So you do that, see where your clip point is, but it's going to change drastically on 1 sub, 2 subs, 5 subs, and you're loading in your box,
individual subs in the chamber. It's crazy. Like, and this is stuff that we've been fighting for years, just haven't checked or known how to check, or people have figured it out. They've kept it secret. Because it's that's how they win a lot.
Well, I what I really like now is that a lot of us aren't so much competition based. Car Deal was around there for so long that it was you remember Bobby when Bobby left. I remember we were at Surf City and these guys are talking about how awesome their SQ build is and this and that. He's multi-time national champion, and we're like, can we hear it? No. Can you tell me anything about it? No.
See, you need to come down to. Same thing I tell Bobby. You need to come to Aggie because, like Jeffrey Hall, his car is one of the winningest cars around. Period. And he'll tell you everything about the car, top to bottom, front to back. There's actually a build log online.
It's
front to back.
It's funny that because we used to send. So I mean, for the last 10 years when we were doing B2 stuff, we'd send Jeff, our SQ components and stuff that.
Jeffrey. Duh.
Yep. I know Jeff. I've known Jeff for a decade.
Yeah, I forgot he did the SPS thing for a while.
But that was back when he was still on his upcoming. But I've always valued his opinion. So yeah, we when we first did that, he probably had. I think he actually had the prototype Manny set when it was still the reference 6.3 set. Yeah, Jeff had the prototype for it. So
yeah, see, Damien's from that same area. He's like,
yep.
he works with Dan Mayer. Like like these guys share all this information, and
there's a lot of good people. I was just saying that, like, cardio competition for the longest time, especially
very
in the right. It was like, well, what'd you do here and what'd you do there, and
don't know.
I remember a lot of the people that were doing kind of like weird stuff in Midwest SPL, and like they weren't allowed to have Deadner and this, and it was just like, I don't know. There's a whole lot going on there. That
I mean, and then like, as I've gone through the years, like and like I don't know if people are like, I guess they actively kept a lot of this from from the public, or they just didn't mention it. But like if you look at some of these older SPL vehicles, like the first time I kind of picked up like some weird secrets was totally on accident in some of Chris Munson's vehicles. I just happened to notice a recurring theme inside the enclosure that he just never mentioned, but I don't think he was purposely keeping stuff secret. But I was just like, huh, all these enclosures have this same thing inside the enclosure. He's
right,
like, yeah,
like, what is this?
No 45s, all 90s.
Really?
Not a lick of 45 in any of those like the most efficient builds ever.
I think that the crew that we've got running right now, like if you look at the demo circuit for across the country, there's probably like, I mean, how many people are out there that have like these high intensity demo builds? Was there like 20 people? 25, and right now it's like almost everybody, all of us, we all know each other. We're all super good, like friends, help out, this, that. Like it's such a good community that like I think Slam this year is going to be like record setting, man. There's so many people coming. There's so many big builds. I literally was talking with Exo for 45 minutes before I got on this. Like I had to hang up on him to get on the podcast. That's why I didn't get in until like 3 minutes before. I was like, hey man, got to run. Good talking to you. We were talking about him bringing his build out to Slam, and dude, there's so much, like there's so many people coming. There's so much cool shit going on this year.
Every year Slam's getting better.
Whose build I'm super excited to see. I know Bobby
is too.
Is Penny Schwartz's build,
dude.
Yeah.
But did you see it did a 158 at 18 hertz in the middle of the cabin. The fuck is that?
Yeah, that thing looks retarded.
I'm jealous because it's a dually Express fan, and there's like a soft spot
on
in my
billets
heart
too.
for, like,
golly,
dude,
brother.
and it's the extended van. Like that thing is huge. It's like almost a bus.
Did you see how much he said it weighs?
No,
I missed that.
18,000 fucking pounds.
Bro, did you see fold those ramps in half?
All I can think about, I don't know if you guys, you weren't there when we were the last time the Cube went to Slam. Gary Killian pulled it there, and Travis was you were there. Yeah. Travis was backing it off of Gary's trailer, and dude, like the ramps are folding, and you could see the axles like bending in half. And I'm looking at Travis, I was like, you should really get you should really do something here. I feel like that Penny's van is, but I mean, it's a dually to start with, but man, you can only do so much.
I'm very excited to hear that thing.
It looks ridiculous. It's the only other, I think, 1218 build that's going to be there. What I'm really hoping, like, the last time we did Deadliest Demo, like they caused a lot of noise about it. They were super loud, like it was stupid loud, but like it had 2x4s and wires hanging out everywhere, and it was kind of
he didn't play
around. That's
one
of my favorite parts about the build now is like he took all of that criticism and he
did something about it.
Yep. He didn't like just keep bitching about it. He was like, okay, so
he's like, so I need to do all
this and this to make it better. And he literally was like, I'm gonna go with a better brand. He went all Sundown. Less is more. He's gonna clean shit up, all this other stuff, and I don't know.
There's a lot of time. There's a lot of money, and I like I said, I'm really excited to see it. I think that this will be the first Slam that I've ever been to that I don't have a booth to run. I don't have people to take care of. I've got no responsibilities. Like I can go out, I can get demos, I can go have fun. Like, and I'm super about that this year. Are those pickles?
Yeah.
I want to show you guys something cool about this.
Dude, you didn't go Super Saiyan to open that pickle jar. It's not fair.
One of my favorite parts, it's something stupid, but it's not stupid, but it's stupid that it's one of my favorite parts, is we took the thing that Colt made me, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Basically put the phone cords in it.
Oh, yeah. That's stupid at all.
Just put a Nomex plug on it.
Excellent.
So Now it's just plug in the
Hey, bro, fire that thing up right now in the neighborhood. Do a 70.
Yeah.
Right now, do a 170 in your neighborhood. Let's go.
I'm gonna just turn the amps on so you can see the lights, but nothing's plugged in as far as.
Yeah, we should hopefully tomorrow I have all the amps wired up in the wagon. Oh my god.
Can you see the lights?
Bro, Andrew just stole your
I,
dang,
Yeah,
he
just
did you
burned
dirty,
the thunder
bud.
hella bad. What a piece of shit.
Wow, Andrew did
No,
you
we
dirty.
don't see
I
the
don't know if
light,
you saw
Steve. It's
that.
pretty bright out there where you're at.
Oh, here, you want me to put
Hey,
lights on? I could do
here-
that too.
here, Steve. Here, we'll give you the juice here.
Shoo.
Everything's not like final done, but you can see my dry mess here.
That looks
Tell you
pretty
what.
goddamn good, man.
Both of them look really
Yeah.
fucking good.
Is
Like,
it getting
that's-
there?
I'm very excited
Nice
to hear
job.
all these builds.
So sick.
Here's the door that nobody ever sees. Little alternator controls. There's a lot going on back here too. So this is essentially. I have
Sir,
one.
you don't have any amps in your vehicle.
Yeah, I got.
You know what?
I got a-
Conveniently, I don't either.
Hey, I
That's-
want to jump on my phone, and can somebody send me a link thingy? How do we do that?
Yeah,
that
give me a
right there
second.
that's the Bobby button. You see it? That's the Bobby button right there. Bobby.
Oh, what is that? What brand is
You
that?
see it? Dude, this is the coolest thing you've ever seen.
I was going to try to figure out how to integrate a Stream Deck into the Tahoe, but
No.
I mean
This
that's
is
basically an
the
automotive Stream Deck.
Side by side things.
like this is the coolest thing
Drew,
ever.
send me a link to
Alright.
the thing.
I am. I'm waiting for it to load.
Got to fucking load for you.
It's not.
Bobby, here's
Okay.
my thing.
Okay, piece of shit.
Make the door
That's
closed.
awesome. I'm excited about that.
I just rhinoed it today. Turned out okay. First time ever doing that shit.
Dude,
So you still got some wires to hook up there, huh, Andrew?
this is what's going on right now, dude. Like there's so much to do.
Shit. See, my shit's done. I'm so happy.
By the way, this is probably the coolest piece of car audio technology that's come out in a long time.
Oh, the ZVL.
Dude, those things are solid.
This is
I
where
got
we're
my-
at right this second.
I got my fancy new Sky High car audio.
Drew, could I technically run a couple ZVLs to separate my sub channels?
Yeah, all a ZVL is a very, very basic DSP.
But the ZVL, I could control each channel's output, right?
Yes. Yep.
So technically, I could just use it as a cock box.
Yep. That's what it's intended for. Yep.
To attenuate my. How many outputs is that thing?
I think it's 12.
It's 6.
6. All right, then you need 2 of them.
I need 2.
Well, it depends on how you do it. So like I'm running 2 of them because I'm running all of the amplifiers in slave mode, so to speak. So I'm not using. Well, and for people who don't know, so I'm using, so like I don't have to gain match the amplifiers at all. Like they'll have exactly the same amount of signal, same amount of gain, because they're not using their internal preamp. They're using the preamp of the CVL.
It's basically the same thing. It's the same thing we're doing, except for I don't have enough out channels from my DSP I'm using. I would need to add the ZVLs.
Well, I think the gains on yours, Steve, I think the outputs are going to be very, 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 very matched, like very close, because they're not relying on the potentiometer or like the board, like the pots or whatever. It is a preset calibrated thing that Kicker does. You know what I mean? Okay. It's like it's a calibrated level, so it's going to be accurate. It's not going to be just relying on potentiometers and stuff to hopefully be within tolerance. It should be accurate.
So do you think I should just run it in comp mode the way it is and just let it run?
I mean, so I should be able to have an answer for you tomorrow as to what like these 4 do in the wagon. Like I plan on turning on amps tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
I can't
Yeah, I
believe the amount of room that you have in the back of that thing, Steve. It's like you couldn't fit a piece of paper in there.
I don't know how
Yeah,
we
it's wild.
engineered how it ended up working out this perfectly, but literally, if Kicker would have made their amps an eighth of an inch deeper, it wouldn't have fit.
but I'd be
Drew,
scared
you
to shut the
didn't tell
door
me
like, on
that
a hot
shit, did
day.
you?
Huh?
Yeah, I say it quietly loud.
Yeah, that's incredible how tight
No,
those
you
are.
didn't.
Oh damn, Messenger broke. God damn it!
Well, I'm so sad.
It
What
literally
is
says
that?
the message page isn't available. What the?
Dude, that is so much.
It's ridiculous.
That's a lot.
His battery's
Fucking
fucking.
sick.
So
All right,
who's
Facebook
having
is
it-
currently crashing.
are you
My
having it transported or are you driving it there?
Look,
I'm
Bobby.
towing it.
Can you send it to? Can you send me a
Look,
text? Oh boy,
Facebook
wonder if
is
we have
currently
people watching.
crashing.
we still have 44 people watching.
Yeah.
Can you send it to a text message to me?
Yeah.
I was wondering because I was trying to send it to myself, but Messenger took a shit.
As you see, so for people who don't know, downdetector.com will show you any website having issues. I bet you look at Instagram, Messenger. Yep, crash, going down.
Hey, we
Wonder
still
what?
got 43 people watching.
I wonder if the verdict came out for the Trump trial. That's what the problem is.
Oh Lord. Invite guests, copy, and we're gonna text Bobby Long D Gately. Send.
Like if
There
people
we go.
this is a piece of my baffle. This is one of the cutouts. Like I don't know if you can really gather how
God, dude,
like,
geez.
that's
Christ.
what the baffle's made out of.
Nice.
Yeah, but
Like,
see, the
when
internet told me that enclosures only sound good if they're made out of wood, like MDF. So I mean, I don't know what you're doing, really.
I will tell you that every like solid, this is what I want to hear, Steve, because every solid steel build that I've ever heard sounds a certain way. And mine's like a hybrid. What are we looking at here?
I mean, I have some wood.
about
Obviously, my
before.
baffle's wood, but I have so much steel behind it that it's kind of still steel.
So I think
Sorry.
a lot of what be like these in the extreme builds all have that sound. I know what you're talking about. I think it's just the fact that
Sorry.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
you know what I'm talking about, Drew? There's like it's just like I can't explain it. And that's why I want to hear Duncan's. I haven't heard it since it's been rebuilt either. I heard it at Ruckus, and he blew snot buggers out of my face.
I'm excited for you guys to hear it because I know what you mean by the way some steel builds sound. This one doesn't sound like that.
Bobby must be back in the sanding area.
Jesus, Bobby.
What?
Your shit's loud.
This is the first time I've actually sat on this seat.
Loud noises.
Yeah, you got a lot to do, Andrew. You better get cooking. When are you guys leaving?
What's that?
I said, Andrew, when are you leaving? You guys better get going.
Wednesday.
A lot to do.
Yeah,
Shit.
you got a lot to
We're
do.
leaving like Thursday morning, so hoping to. Dude, you were in Sacramento and you didn't go see Bobby? What a disaster, bro.
You don't want to go to Bobby's shop. You'll be covered
This
in
whole
sawdust.
fucking roof lights up here.
Dude, that's awesome.
Nice.
And then,
Which one is that? Oh, is this the?
I need more light in here.
It looks like a guillotine.
I haven't seen any of that.
Thingy I made.
Yep, that's the guillotine. Boy, that's a brand new Escalade. This is unacceptable.
Show me the guillotine. Show me the build. No, the other part.
pillars,
Show me the base.
pillars for killers. These doors.
Sick. Let me see the base.
Show me the wall.
Show me the damn wall.
Calm down.
Pull your Schmied out.
Right here.
God damn it.
We got this wild shit right.
Oh my God.
son.
Wow. That's a lot.
Shit.
That's a
These
lot.
are all wired up.
So those LEDs are reacting at such a low volume. At slam, they're just gonna be full tilt the whole,
The whole time.
We can make
Yeah.
adjustments. We got a big fat fanny up here.
Is this Byron's we're looking at, or is this?
No,
Jim's?
that's the new Escalade.
Okay.
That's the guillotine.
We got a fucking max cart right here.
That's right, baby. That's right.
It's got
Let's
batteries
go.
and fucking that shit's gangster. We got some little bit more wiring to do down in here, but you can kind of see we got a lot of RCA cables. None of the RCA cables go anywhere near any of the power wires at all. But let me see if I can get a light so I can show you the inside. I have lights to go inside the box. The parts are being machined currently. Find a bright light. I don't know where anybody keeps any shit around here. I just work here. Goddamn kids. Mall, where's the shit at? Byron, where's the bright light? Yeah, the Milwaukee.
Oh no, Monopoly Go is going down.
Scraping Christ. Yeah, that. Yeah, thank you. Let me see here. Let me see. All right. What do you guys think? You got some 18, son. And then on the back of that back wall, we have a fucking 1 3/4 thick piece of acrylic that has a metallic gray resin pour, and it has an 1 1/4 deep 3-dimensional engraving, and it has our big Relentless with a little Gately shield next to it. And then if you look up, let me see. Can you see right here? See how that's like kind of a 45 at the top? On that flat panel, I'll have a piece of acrylic that runs all the way down. It'll also have lights in it. And all the lights will be the RGB chasing crazy shit. This thing is...
What lights are you using, Bobby?
That's what I gotta
The
get
Cobb.
dialed in.
The Cobb RGB IC.
Dude, the LEDs from TJ at LED Creations. He's the one who did all of Ground Pound. His LEDs are the ones.
Yeah.
Those are those ones. Like they're the ones.
All the lights are way brighter in this thing. And then I know this doesn't look different, but those are all dual twos. We swapped every single sub in this fucking thing. We're at a half ohm on these amps now. So we'll be making double the fucking power. And just the battery made it way fucking louder.
Oh yeah. What oh, I gotcha. Is it charging decently now?
Yeah, we sorted out that. It took a minute, but I fucking just fine-tuning that alternator bracket and all the pulleys just right, because we couldn't get, it was like we could never get the right size belt, so I had to play a fucking game with the pulleys. And then we did some gangster shit. I don't know if you can see this or not, but like, I don't know if you guys knew this, but we had modified 2 different water pumps. It destroys water pumps. It rips the water pump pulley apart. So we had welded one on, and then it ripped the whole center of it out. That SEMA. It was a fucking nightmare. And then it did it again at the showdown. So this time I had Steve fiber laser me this like little flower shape of 1/8 steel. And then I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't see it. But we put this little flower shaped piece of steel on it and just tacked it all the way around, and then heated it up and tapped it, and we fucking put, the whole thing is like 6.5, 7 inches in diameter. We got like a 5-inch diameter, 1/8 thick, extra strong front of that. So in theory, that shit isn't going anywhere. And now we have all the tension we need to keep all the alts running. Also, operating at the higher voltage with the battery that we have, we shouldn't have so much load on the alternators.
Hey, Bobby.
I'll say this.
What's the easiest way to remove butyl deadener from a roof or a panel in general?
Have somebody else do it.
There you go, Chris. There's your answer.
So, Bobby, I'm gonna say, you see what's missing from the front of my motor here?
I'll probably do flapper wheel.
You know what my water pump is? My water pump.
Electric
right
water
there.
pump. Let's go.
Oh yeah. No, we talked about this, and we did
There's no other
ton
way.
of research, and there was no fucking way we were doing an electric water pump on this truck.
Why?
Yeah, otherwise we'd have done that shit. Like, everybody comes at me like, "Oh, dude, I have your easy solution right here," and I'm always
Bobby,
like, "Go fuck yourself."
Was it from vibration?
No, It was tension
Okay.
because we had to have so much tension on the belt so that it didn't slip, and it wouldn't slip. It didn't slip on the alts. It slipped on the crank pulley.
Yeah, I think the difference in how much output this new battery output and capacity, that's going to help a lot too, because the alts aren't going to be working nearly as hard.
It is the LTOs put such a load on the alternators that
Lithium in general.
Yeah,
because back in the AGM days, AGMs can only take a couple amps, right? Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Lithiums will just take whatever you can get in it, whatever you can get.
It has as much as you can put into it, it'll take it.
Baba, so you can come Saturday or Sunday. I'm gonna be letting that wagon rip tater chip because I got recones, and they can be reconed without pulling them out the box. So let's go.
I got Jerry Eastman here.
Nice.
Well, I didn't realize he was such an attractive man. Golly, brother.
Yeah, I've got 2 recones and 1 spare sub. So
his Bluetooth. Hey, Bobby, we can't hear you.
Hopefully that shit doesn't happen.
Yeah. He switched over to Byron's truck. I bet you.
Yeah, the Bluetooth connected to the truck.
Look at that! Hit the boost!
Look at that big brown man in the back.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Bobby.
Can't hear a word you're saying.
Not a word. Go back to Hobbiton and get your microphone. Left it at bag end. Yeah, here, we can't hear you at all. Is that Gandalf the Grey there with you?
Right?
Still can't hear you. Nope.
Poor Bobby.
Nope.
Can't hear you, Bobby.
How about now?
There you go.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
I hit the mute button because I'm fucking retarded.
Yeah,
that's okay. We figured you and Gandalf there were on your way to Mordor.
I mean, if you stay ready to go to Mordor, you ain't got to get ready to go to Mordor.
That's right. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
So who else is coming to? I mean, what do we got for big builds coming to Slam? Who are you guys having the same judges this year? Or are you doing a whole big different deal?
Same judges. It's been since the beginning, basically.
Top secret SQ judge. I'm coming through. If your mids and highs sound like shit, you're getting negative 40 points.
Bobby, can we talk about what?
We can let a little cat out of the bag. We have a super top secret deadliest demo judge going to be hanging out by the name of Steve Mead.
Let's go.
I talked him into it. I pressured him. It's Steve's one of them guys, man, that you pressure him too much, and he's like, "Oh no way, I'm not gonna do it. But if you're
Steve doesn't go,
you really should,
Steve
buddy,
doesn't go anywhere either. So he called me he called me the other morning, Bobby. He's like, "Hey man, I'm going to Slam this year." I'm like, "You're shitting me." No shit. Like there's no way, because I've been telling him too for years, like, you gotta go, man. You gotta go. So
yeah.
Can I win Deadliest Demo, Bobby? Or
no, you cannot.
Fuck.
No.
I mean, honorary mention.
Yes.
I mean,
I think we should have a winner circle award too. So all the winners from the previous years, and they get together and pick their favorite, even if it's not the Deadliest Demo.
maybe for like our 10th year, we'll do like
10th year,
like our champion of champions, or our 5th year or something like that. But some of the builds aren't around.
quarter
anymore.
quell. We're gonna do a quarter quell. Is that what we're saying?
Isn't this the 5th year?
Probably, but most of those builds aren't even around. I mean,
Nick.
I guess,
Nick won. Nick won the first year.
Yeah.
Was it Duncan won the second year?
You won the third year. You and
yeah. And then I didn't win last year because I played for one song and ripped a subwoofer in half.
Last year was
Luke.
So yeah, this is year 5.
This year's going to be Kicker Wagon. Let's go,
dude. I'm going for that
information, but I don't think it's done.
Not out of the question,
Drew. I just want to say
it's
that
wild and it's awesome and it's exciting and everybody's smiling, giggling, and having a good time. Then it's, you know what I mean. Like,
there's a spot for this thing.
Luke's truck wasn't the fucking loudest thing.
Nope.
It was up there, but it was destroying shit, and everybody was fucking having. Dude, it's not the deadliest demo. It's the funnest demo. And like when Steve won that year, it wasn't the van. It was the white truck. At least for me, it was.
Okay.
Because that was one of my favorite fucking demos I ever had. And it was Nick was operating it. And like you know, we had a really incredible experience, that little session of getting demos in the white truck.
And part
you know,
of
my
like
buddy
Deli's
Rudy
demo,
that passed away not long after, he got it. That was the first crazy thing he'd ever been in. He was fucking so scared, and he smiled. He fucking loved it so much. He had such a good time. And then, you know what I mean? All of us got demos from Nick because he was just chooching them out. And it was like, there was a handful of us that were like Steve's truck. And then there was a handful of us that were like Steve's van. And then it was like, well, fucking Steve wins. Like, it just,
fucking Steve wins.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just saying there's a spot for this one,
Look
but
at
there's
this.
another spot for that one. You just want
Well,
to
you
say
can't.
that
You
that's-
can't. The one Bobby's building now, you won't be able to do that with the new award.
So
You won't want to do that either. Trust me.
So the
I don't
way,
even know what
like,
it looks like.
A lot of people don't realize like a
last
good
year's
demo
work
like
was
isn't just the
fucking sick.
vehicle. It's like the person running the vehicle has to be like ready to absolutely send it.
And
Dude,
and,
so
and,
the-
and
the-
really, you got to put on a good show. You got to make it awesome.
The year that we did the bourbon one, essentially, I kid you not, you know, people are like, oh, this person demoed all day, this person demoed all day. Like I don't honestly think anybody demoed longer than we did. Like it was like Sunday morning, Darian and I, the show, it hadn't even started. I was like, I'm gonna find a song, and it was 1 o'clock. It was literally 1 p.m. and I had not left, I had not stopped. And it was raining, and there were 25 people in line. And I'm like,
And you're
I
fitting
mean,
four people at a time in that thing. Ross
Yeah.
was driving around in the fucking Jeep, pulling over and giving demos, and
Dude,
taking
Ross
wet
is
towels
an
and putting them on his
absolute
amps and shit.
unit.
yeah, that was
People who don't know who Roth is are Roth is the unit. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But no, I'm looking forward to
gotta
people
turn
being able to hear the wagon and actually being able to hear the wagon, because I mean, y'all remember how bad the roof was? It was just awful.
I'm hoping that this year everyone has a good time. Everything's great. No fucking rain, no problems. Like there's never been, I can't remember a week before Slam that's been this cool. Like it's 80 degrees. I think.
Bro, it is
what was
9
today here.
billion degrees at my house.
The
you
weather
talking
report
about?
does look good for Slam, but it keeps changing.
Yeah.
No, like we were melting today. Like so I'm very fortunate. My buddy Patrick Prine put in for a week of vacation for this week just so he could be here every day to help with the wagon.
Oof.
Like, bro, who does that? Dude's been such a blessing.
My buddy Easton's the real winner. I wouldn't have been able to build this thing at all without Easton.
Dude, if it wasn't for Patrick, the wagon would not be. It wouldn't go, especially with all 12 amps. It might have got 6 or 3. It could not.
Well, I was just talking about that. When I was talking to Bruce about his build, dude. It's just him. It's literally just him building that thing. Is there any help? Is there anybody coming over? And I was man.
So I know he doesn't look at his messenger a lot, and I probably should have texted him, but I messaged him. I was like, hey, bro, like I know you know it's hard to trust people working on your build. Like if you need help with loading subs or anything like that, like me and my brother will drive up there to help you. Like I know it's hard to trust people, especially like bringing people around your house. I'm like, but you know, me and him have had some pretty good conversations over the years. You know, sharing.
Dude, Exo's one of the most genuine, gracious people ever.
He called me once, like 2 years ago, just to ask me about, you know, kind of
like the only nicer person in the world is Allison.
Yeah,
Bobby laughs, but that's like I watched her. She literally we had a rough night at FEMA a couple years ago, and I was sitting there, I was having a rough morning, man. I wasn't looking too good, and she's like, "You okay?" Like, I got I had a headache, kind of hungover, you know. She's like, "Okay," and like 40 minutes goes by, and she comes back. She's like, "All right, I got some Gatorade, but I don't know what type you like, so I got this one and this one. I got some Advil, some ibuprofen." And she like went up. I'm like, "Did you left? You've been gone for 45 minutes." She goes, "Yeah, I went to the hotel and then I didn't have something, so I walked across to the gas station and I got this, and then I came back." I'm like, "You've been gone almost an hour to go get supplies for me because I'm literally hungover, not having a good time." And she's like, "Yeah, like, you're the best person ever in the whole wide world."
She's my favorite.
She's literally in my phone as Allie, the best in the world. It's like literally, she's in there as that.
Yeah, she's the fucking best. Yeah, none of this shit would happen without Allie. She's the
pretty
fucking best.
fantastic.
Now my team of guys that work their fucking asses off, and here's what's really awesome. I'm just gonna be kind of a weird brag, but like I haven't had to do any all nighters here. I haven't had to work more than like a 15 or 16 hour day, but I've only done a couple of those in the last 6 weeks, and only just because I felt like I could keep on pushing and do some gangster shit, but and hardly any overtime needed to be worked by any of the guys. Like it's all super duper fucking legit. Everybody get shit done really well. And we did a gang of shit to the Raiden, and we did a bunch of wild shit to the Soulgasm, and we've worked on, numerous other installs and fucking box production and custom box production and then at the same time speaker and subwoofer development, and like the whole world didn't have to go on hold. Like, when built the first version of the Green Monster, everything fucking stopped for like 3 weeks while we just killed ourselves to build that goddamn thing. Where, with everything we have going on, there's custom box guys that have no idea about any of these fucking vehicles, and they'd be like, "Oh, fuck yourself! You told me it'd be 6 weeks. Where's my shit?" You know what I mean?
Dude, I will
So-
never you brought up the Green Monster. I'll never in my life forget when you stabbed it with a steak knife. Your new subwoofers when you brought it to the barbecue.
Oh yeah, I will not forget that either. That made me
You
sad.
good, Mike? Damn, bro. You all right?
Dude, we were at Korean barbecue having dinner with John, and Bobby calls. I don't know, was it Joel? Yeah, we got a problem here. Well, what's the problem? So Bobby, yeah, he was opening the. Somebody decided to pack the subwoofers with foam, and that person was
They
not
put
me.
them in
so.
a foam fucking sarcophagus, man. That you had
No,
to,
they put them in a
chisel
box and
off.
filled it. They put it in a box and then they filled it with spray foam. So they put
They
it in a
put the
box in a
woofer
bag.
and then
Yeah.
filled the whole box
Yeah,
with
with
spray
spray
foam.
foam. Thinking that was a good
One
idea, and it's like the worst way you could ship a subwoofer ever.
and getting it out, and then it was
Yeah,
the
Bobby
last
Bobby
one,
had a machete. He had a machete to take it out with.
and I was doing a really good job until I got to the last one, and then I suddenly did a really bad job. But I called John first. I stood up when I realized I had done it, and I was like, "Everybody, stop! It's over. I fucked up real bad." And everybody's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "I just stabbed this fucking thing with a goddamn knife." And then I call, first Joel calls, and he's talking to you or John or something. Puts me on the phone with John, and John's like, "It's going to be fine." I'm all, "How in the fuck is that going to be fine?" He's like, "You're going to gorilla tape it, and it's going to work forever, and it's not going to be a problem." And I was like, "Okay." And so then we just put it in, and we put like 3 pieces of gorilla tape on it, and it held forever. So
Yeah, those were those XTC 18s.
yeah, I love that version of the Green Monster the best.
That was a good time. I like it when the amplifier caught on fire.
Yeah,
the
that
CES
was
show.
funny. That was like let me just drink like fucking 17 beers and demo all day in the sun.
I could not be happier that that's not my problem anymore. And I can sit there and look at the amplifier on fire with you. Look at that. Look at that. It's not my problem. I don't have to fix it. Fucking pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen,
Steve's gonna fire out a burp here real quick.
Is he really gonna? Is he gonna do it?
Dude, he's gearing up. Look at him. I know that's what he's been doing.
I was trying to find the can of rhino liner so I could see how long it takes till I could use this thing.
We had this thing playing some music earlier. We put a bass tune of all the crossover points and make sure all the routing was good, and we bring it to life. And I clicked up the levels in the DSP on the subs and had it fucking chooching pretty goddamn good. The subs were maybe moving 3/16, 7-inch fucking total peak to peak of what their excursion was, and it was fucking getting it. I'm like, oh boy, I cannot wait to really get this thing fucking smashing its goddamn windshield right out of itself. What's going to be fucked about this one?
I'll play it for you guys.
It has this fucking metal piece. See this right here? This is a piece of fucking metal right here. that's like part of the fucking windshield
For the mirror bullshit
for the
that goes in
fucking
there.
mirror assembly.
Yeah.
You gotta cut
That
The
that thing
mirror
out.
weighs 47 pounds.
Dude, that piece of
Turn
fucking
it up,
metal probably
Steve.
weighs as much as a regular mirror. This thing is gonna obliterate the fucking windshield so easy, it's gonna suck.
So is Byron bringing a spare windows with him?
No, he has somebody already in Indiana.
He's like, I need
field
3.
on morning, right?
I need 3. One for Saturday morning, one for Sunday morning, then one to go home.
Well, that's what Joel did at Made of Steel. He had like 3 in the truck throughout the weekend. There was someone on site changing windshields.
I can tell you, I have never blown out a windshield in the Suburban.
R.I.P. windshield.
That ain't gonna happen. If I can have to do like a 190 to blow that window out.
Well, that's a good thing you're gonna be super loud, huh, bud?
Dude, I started with a 1-inch acrylic window. Like, started with it. I was like, this is the first thing we did.
Yeah. All right.
Ready?
Well, I'm gonna fucking pack up, get my shit together, and probably get out of here.
We said 45, and it's been an hour 20.
All right, I'm playing real quick.
Okay, play that shit.
It's the roof.
Better.
Dude, that microphone is like,
The microphone on his fucking phone is gonna catch on fire.
my AirPod's about to explode in my ear. Literally. Is that it?
I'm gonna get it. Because that's useless. But
I mean-
I think a lot of people are really gonna like the way the kicker mids and tweeters sound. Like they sound really nice.
The kicker's got a lot into it.
Yep. Oh, look at that! Look at that!
It's so bad.
His neighbors are gonna be mad as boy. They mad right now. Like he's looking like.
He's looking at him. They're gonna come get him.
Somebody
The
comes
cops
running
are
in
on the
punches
way,
him in
bud.
face,
The
all
cops
mad
are
and
on
shit.
the way.
Dude, Bobby, I feel like if you turn that shit on at the shop, there's gonna be some homeless guy comes over. He's like, "Hey, man, I was trying to sleep over by that tree."
No, they're all used to it around here. The phone rings and they're like, "Can you fucking please not do that anymore today?" I'm all, "Yep, I will turn it off now. I'm all done." But sometimes they call mouth off, and if you're gonna be a dick, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it playing because
I'm gonna
I'm
actually
allowed
turn
to
it
tell
up
you to fuck
more.
yourself.
So, yeah,
I've only had one person ever complain here at
My
the
neighbor,
shop.
like across my backyard, fires up this stupid. I think it's an old Camaro. Never leaves his yard. Has never left his house. But he'll start it and rev it, do all kind of shit. I don't ever bitch because that's a cool sounding car, whatever. We fired up the wagon last year, 30 seconds. He was bitching up a fucking storm. I'm like, bro, stop. Like, I turn up a stereo here once every 2 years, maybe. Like, I bless you by not letting this 60 rip in my driveway every day.
Right?
We had like a mild incident here at the shop months ago. We were fucking with this alternator bracket situation, trying to get everything sorted out with the belt and what pulleys and what to get the tension just right. And so we had to keep testing it under load. And so we're testing, and it's like fucking 4:45 in the afternoon. I'm fucking frustrated. We're getting it, but we're getting closer, but we're not there, you know. And this guy comes fucking skidding up behind the Soulgasm, and he's like pointing his fingers, and he's like, "You need to turn that shit off right now." And I was like, "You need to get the fuck out of here right now, and I'm not turning off shit." And he like, "You can't fucking do that." And blah, blah. I was like, I can absolutely do that. I have a business. This is what I do here, and I'm going to do this shit. It's business hours. And if you were kind to me, I would have gladly turned it off. But because you're an asshole, I'm not doing shit. And don't you ever fucking pull up on me like you're going to do anything. And he's like, I'm from the fucking South. And I was like, cool. I've slapped the shit out of a whole bunch of sorry ass motherfuckers from the South. You're not going to do shit. And then he backed up hella fast and did a big burnout and almost got into a car accident pulling out of my parking lot. And then I felt bad and I told the guys, "Hey,
Isn't there a big dip isn't there a big dip right there when you come out of the parking
Yeah,
lot?
coming out of the lot is a little bit aggressive.
Is
So
it-
he hit that, and then he like was turning, and he was like fucking pulled in front of like somebody, and it was like, and we were like, oh fuck, and I was like, oh my god, and Colt was like, that was super funny, and I'm glad he almost got into an accident, but I would have felt terrible if he did. I'm glad that he almost did, but like, it was like fucking.
I feel bad
asshole.
for the person. It'd be better if he just like he peels out of there and his wheel falls off and he's just stuck there looking like an idiot.
No,
Comes
no,
back.
it was
Hey,
kinda
hey man,
funny.
you got
Went home,
you got a
It
jack.
was like, if I would have just pulled up and been like, guys, what the fuck? Can you please not do that? Jesus. I'm fucking, you're killing me. You know what I mean? I'd been like,
Right.
yeah,
Be
we gotta shut
kind.
it off. We're
Be
gonna have to fuck
kind.
with it some more tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Costs
It's
no
not-
money to be fucking nice. It really
It
doesn't.
doesn't any money to be a dick either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like
it can cost you experiencing more of what you were bitching about.
That's a fact. So have y'all kept up with the God's Creature build?
No.
What's
So
that?
just get on it. Just get on I Just Want to Bang. It'll be real easy to find.
Who's building it?
Some Jimmy Moore out of like the Carolinas. He
Hmm.
you know what? I'll pull up a photo of these welds because I was told I am a shady, shitty person for telling this dude to fix his welds because he's gonna kill somebody. Hold on. Let me pull this up.
Oh.
Yeah, so, some dude's like, you're just a troll and you're a shady person. So this is what we're
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
brother.
Where's
So
the
he's
wall?
mounting thousands of pounds of batteries and amps in this.
Oh.
Bro,
And it's
go
going
back-
on top of the roof.
Go back and zoom in, please.
All right, hold on. Let me present, share screen, Windows. Boop. Oh, okay, other way. Bro, come on, do something.
That's all you got.
All right, I'll just save it and I'll pull it up separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
Do
present.
this and then we'll cut it.
Yep, present. Anyway, so it started off with I wasn't trying to be a big dip. I'm like, hey, bro, like you really need to.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not gonna suffice, my guy.
Jesus.
Like
the-
you're trying to
and the
put.
bottom is the bottom side, this bottom left, like running the length of the car. Is that even welded, or is that just looks like it's just some sort of sealant
I don't know.
on the left? You know, like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
here.
I mean, it probably.
It looks like it's
what's
just sealed
what
together.
does-
It's not even welded together.
You know, a lot of these, there was that big demo build that came across a couple years ago for the dude in Minnesota, and I think that Soundcheck ended up building it. There's a bunch of controversy around it because he was kind of like a. Anyways, that
Oh, you
dude
mean
wanted,
the convicted child rapist?
yeah. So he
Okay,
he
I'll say
wanted
it.
he
Fine.
he heard the bourbon, and then he wanted me and Easton to build him the build, and I was like, I mean, maybe it's gonna be like 50 grand, like at least. And he's like, well, this is what I want. I want X amount of subs. He wanted like 12 18s or what it was in a Suburban. And I was like, dude, the only way I'm willing to do this is if you do all the brake upgrades, suspension, the whole 9 yards. Like, you want to drive this thing around weighing 12,000 pounds. I don't want anything to do with it unless you're going to do all the work. And yeah, long story short, what are we looking at here? Ooh. Are those Byron's wheels? Or are those the Cadillac?
Look at the
That's it.
Willwoods.
Those are
Oh
for-
man, almost like that's what you need to do for a proper build like this.
Look at that.
Do all the things,
Got him on the
suspension,
back too.
So this dude
That's
is
crazy.
putting batteries and stuff up there at the top right. I'm like, man, this isn't safe. Like it. I'm like, if you get in a wreck, God forbid, I don't want that to happen. But if you do, that battery and those
you
amps
can't-
are leaving the roof.
Yeah, you can't stop. Or,
Oh,
there's
you
like some of
fucking
these other
you rear end somebody and your fucking battery
Grenade!
fucking lands on them.
incoming. Fucking
Oh,
bomb
literally,
comes shooting
grenade
off. Yeah.
Incoming.
Fucking
Yeah.
bomb lands on you and it's on fire.
I used
Well, and a lot of people, dude, a lot of people don't understand that. It's like if your lithium battery like catches fire and starts discharging, you cannot put it out with a fire extinguisher.
no,
It's
you can't.
not
There's nothing you
using
can do.
it's not using oxygen to burn. It's not a fire. It's a
It's a dead
chemical
short
reaction.
Plasma heat. That's all it is.
Like, yeah, it's a chemical reaction. You're not stopping it. That's why like the lithium fires, they just like burn the vehicle down.
So when I
Like,
first went lithium, I went and asked the local fire department. Like I went there and I was like, "Hey, look, like who do I need to talk to? I have some questions about like lithium fires." And I told them what we were doing. First, they were like, "The hell is wrong with y'all?" Number one, I'm like, "Yeah, fair enough." I was like, "So what do we do if there's a fire with lithium battery?" He's like, "Get it out of the vehicle and lay it on the ground. That's all you can do." and wait for it to be done.
Dude, I literally have it written
Harriet?
in my insurance policy. If my vehicle catches on fire, like I have actual written fire coverage. I told him very specifically, like if something were to happen, because you never know. Like I
Yeah.
want insurance, and I'll pay for it. But like if something goes on here and it catches on fire, I don't want my $100,000 demo vehicle to burn to the ground.
Yep.
And
Or
not
if
have
it
any
does,
coverage.
like, I
on
want to
it.
get paid for it.
Fucking paid.
Yeah.
Imagine this thing's got 250 amps of lithium in it. This one's got
Yeah, the wagon
180
got 270.
lithium in it. We got
Tahoe's got 480.
these things
Yeah, but-
fucking burn. This whole building goes big.
It's
Yep.
these aren't really gonna. I don't think they have. I guess everything can burn, but these it's gonna take a lot to make that happen. To make
Yeah.
these burn.
Well, so like so I used the example, in that thread before old dude went off the rails. I said, look, like race car builders don't want their cars to wreck. They don't expect them to wreck, but they build roll cages and fire suppression for your reason.
Literally. Dude, you know that the Mustang thing with all the shit on the top, that's gonna be at Slam. I want to see.
It was that made of steel. I mean,
Was it okay? Was it decent?
There was effectively no mid bass from the doors, which is kind of whatever because the sub turned on, it sounded fine.
I feel like out of 100 builds, 7 of them had mid bass, like actually have real mid bass coming out.
You want to know what build that no one has heard yet? That when I heard the rear stunt doors and like the rear stunt wall of this build, like I was floored. I've never heard something sound this good. The Savard Audio Excursion.
Oh yeah.
When I heard this, I had to like step back and go, wait a second. What the fuck am I hearing? Because most guys do like way too many mids and highs. They do like 47 mid ranges and tweeters. They had like 6, maybe 12.
Yeah, they're like crossover
40 mid basses
and all the way up.
This thing sounded so damn good. I was shocked. But exactly what you're saying. Most people just have 0 mid bass. They have like punch at like 200 hertz or 180 hertz, and that's it.
I tried to explain that like the 10s of my doors, like they're bandpassed, and people are like, "Why?" I'm like, because they don't need anything above like 500 hertz.
Yeah, because a proper mid bass isn't playing above.
Right?
Isn't playing above that.
Yeah, we have all these tweeters and all this other stuff. So like, I'm interested in like 70 to 500 at the most.
Yep, that's exactly
and it's incredible if you take a speaker and its frequency range goes all the way to the moon. Okay, that's great. But if you bandpass it down, you'd be shocked. And I know, Drew, you know this, but you're shocked at like, wow, that went from sounding like super bright and like way too much, and now like by itself it sounds like dick. It's got a ton of punch, but like you mix in a separate tweeter and you're like, wow, that sounds really good. Because the tweeter's doing tweeter shit and the woofer's doing woofer shit. You don't have the woofer trying to play full range. Like people don't get that.
For everyone watching, what he's talking
woofer
about is
now?
intermodulation
Fucking
distortion.
woofer.
Woofer? Did you ever meet Woofer? John's dog Woofer?
Yeah,
I
so
did.
what Andrew's talking about is intermodulation distortion, IMD. It's basically your mid bass or mid range is trying to play 200 hertz, which is a lot more excursion than 5,000 hertz. So it's going to cause distortion in the sound, whether or not it is actually distorted signal or not being fed into the speaker. So whenever someone sees me on a thread, ask like, "Hey, why are you running 10s and 8s or whatever?" Like, "Oh, one's a mid bass." All right, well, are you crossing it over like a mid bass, or are you just crossing it over 20 hertz lower and still playing up to 5K? Because that's not.
Yeah,
I
seen that post, and the dude's like, "Does everybody run a DSP?" I was like, "You should run a DSP on every single build you ever have, ever. You could skip out on everything, but have DSP."
So that's actually JL and Bobby can attest to this. In the JL Max certification class, there is a section about selling DSP, and they said sell a DSP to someone with stock speakers before you sell them speakers and no way to control them.
I've heard a decent head unit with a DSP and shit speakers sound better than. It's incredible. How well you can get a speaker to sound with a little bit of tuning, some crossovers.
The first time I heard that was, hearing, put a DSP and amp on stock speakers. I was like, that makes so much damn sense. Huh.
What's wild though is that like vehicle manufacturers and how much they actually put into tuning the factory vehicles. Like it's wild. And if you do work on newer vehicles with head units and whatnot, and you find like all the factory tuning and it's incredible. Like they have actual sound engineers that go through and they set up everything.
JBL has Lexus has Natan Boutier or Boution, whatever his name is. He's a multi-time SQ world champion with his little Suzuki car, and he's one of the lead DSP engineers at Harman Group.
Yep.
And
it can get very, very intense.
The new Cadillac Escalade with the AKG system is a 24 speaker, 24 channel system that images stages from every seat.
Have you been in one of them?
Images and stages.
And if you're talking to somebody, you can hear them because it plays through the speakers.
Insane.
Yeah. I had one of them as a rental and it had the Super Cruise on it.
You were like, what the fuck? Coolest
thing ever. I was driving around Denver eating my sandwich from Starbucks with Super Cruise on. And like you don't have to touch the wheel. It just drives itself. It's pretty cool.
Drew.
Exactly.
What do you have your subs crossed over at? What frequency?
With me?
Who? What?
Drew.
Oh, I don't know.
63.
Oh, like in the wagon?
Yeah, 63.
I don't know because it's going to change now because we're going to have to limit how wide of a range we play because there's so much more power. But I mean, 10 to 80, 10 to 70 is probably where the crossovers will be. But I might tighten it up depending on. I mean, we're gonna have so much power. It's going to be just.
I got mine at 16 to 100 right now. Is that too much?
I'd probably bring
100 too much.
I'd probably bring 100. I'd probably bring it realistically. I'd bring it down to 60. Like I think I put Duncan's at 60 at 24 dB because it didn't cut off any output at 55 hertz. And let's be real, you're not playing above that. So you just kill energy above that. It's just less energy going to the sub. So I would just do like 55, like 60 hertz, 24 dB.
Okay, and then like 16 fine the starter, should I just go to 10? I mean,
are you trying to play super duper mega low or?
Well, I'm fine. High teens, anything in the high teens, I want to play. 18.
I would probably bring it up to 20 personally, just because you don't want that much power down low. You want to kind of pull it back.
Okay.
I can't remember who I was talking to about. They were most preamps can't. If you actually look at 10 hertz, like there's not a lot going on there, and anything below that, 8 hertz. It's like
like most DSPs, most radios, most of that stuff, you get to 20, and it is a very steep.
Yeah. You get down to like, and I was trying to explain that to somebody. They were like, well, 15 hertz just doesn't play very well. And I'm like, dude, there's
no signal. I mean,
more
than likely you're using an MP3 track that's already been compressed. You're using a cheap head unit. There's all kind of stuff happening.
I feel like Bobby's going to make a Gateway shirt that says life starts at 10 hertz.
Yeah. So first thing I would do, Bobby.
No, I got to have bandwidth.
I would
only play fucking 10 hertz.
Have you tried bringing the crossovers up on the mid ranges, say to like 4,500, and bring the tweeters up to 4,500? Because 3,500 is low for some super tweets.
Yeah.
Okay, so just tell me what to do. I will do
4,500. Yep. And then right above that to the right, low pass on channel 1A. Yep. Go up 4,500 there too. Basically change all your 3,500s to 4,500. Yep. Copy paste, baby. Copy paste.
I'm on my phone and I cannot. Okay.
I'm also very used to the screen. So.
Now what?
That was good.
125 is fine for the.
I mean, more. You could probably play lower realistically, but just if you're happy with
when you have time to fuck with it, Steve, you just sit there with the computer and you go, "What is that like? Is that better?"
Exactly. Like you just
remember like what we did when I would beat the boot ball on that fucking thing.
Look how much I have look how much I have the roof dropped because the gains are at half. I had to turn them down so much.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's fine.
That's all fine.
You do what Bobby does, and you call Andrew at 11:30 at night because there's 2-hour time difference. Actually, I don't think you ever called me. I think it was your guys that called me.
When we were fighting with that fucking DSP, I fucking called you. I'm like, hey, I got these DSPs installed. And you're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I got these fucking new B2. You're like, I don't even have software for those yet. I'm all sick.
Literally.
They're already in the fucking vehicle. I'm not happy. And you're just like, let me find the beta version to send to you right now. And I was like, do you know how to tune in that? He's like, I have no idea. You go
Not a
ahead
clue.
and figure that out. And I was
Yeah.
like, we're doing this now, guys. I was like,
Yeah,
fuck.
I found out what it takes to develop a DSP.
And
And a lot more than what fucking Jay put
Yeah.
into it.
it's
Yes.
a lot,
Mhm.
but like I know of a company working on a ground up DSP, like software and everything right now, and they're like, damn, this is a lot more than we thought it was gonna be. Like, so there's a reason JL has a team.
Team.
Dude, it's
Big-ass
all
team.
about the GUI. Like
Yep, it's all about the
all of the hardware is, dude, across all the DSPs. The hardware is relatively the same. It's
yeah,
the
and it's
GUI.
relatively good enough. I mean, realistically, but the software is so important. And
Yeah.
then if you have a good integration, that's where JL is winning just by a country mile. Their integration between like VXI amps or Max, and just the ability for the amps to link together in the network. When they finally drop a version 2 of the tweak or whatever they decide to do, it's gonna just crush everybody. It's gonna be just disgusting. That
Hey,
that's
Drew,
like,
that knob, the LF audio knob you have, does it show you clipping and all that stuff?
yeah, it
Mhm.
shows you a waveform of the signal. So I mean, so if you're sending clips, like you'd have to be sending clip signal into it, but you probably won't get to that point.
Will it? Can you?
hope
Does
not.
he sell one that's not a knob? That's just like
He's
a
working on a full system monitoring setup.
Ha! I wonder where he got that idea.
Because it would be dope to have something
He's
that
working
I
on
could
it.
just see the. I still want to use
Yep.
my kicker knob setup,
Yep.
but
Now he's working on like a wireless display that shows you power, like wattage output, input, everything.
yeah, that'd
You
be
know,
fun.
the market. I think there's a market there for doing like monitoring. Like, you know, we did the panel for the Suburban where it had.
There's definitely I think there's a big market, especially on like SQ guys will spend the money all day. If they can monitor their $10,000 Class A amp, they will.
Well, and that's kind of what I was saying, is that like when people ask me, like, well, dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I remember Bobby was standing there and he was like, that's awesome. That's literally the coolest thing.
It was fucking sick.
Problem with it is, it's like, okay, if somebody else wants it, well, like, where did you get it? You built it from nothing. You designed it from
And then
scratch.
getting something like building one or two of something, I've learned is very easy. Making something production ready is such a
It's way
large
it's way more. And even at that, dude, there's probably $3,000.
little
stuck
Bobby.
into
He's
this
like,
thing.
God damn it. he's like living the pain.
Dude.
Literally.
Like the fucking mids, dude. The mids. I thought I would have had the mids 90 days ago, but like, they're decisions that I have to make all the time. And they're like, how about this? How about this? How about this? And I'm like, I'm not going to rush this shit. I'm not going to fucking rush it. They're going to be amazing. They're going to do all the things. They're going to be the aesthetic that I want. They're going to have the performance that I want. I fucking tested several different fucking tweeters and like on and on and on and on. And then now finally I'm making them the way I want them to have the aesthetic. But I'm like, how much is my Gately logo going to change this speaker? How much different is it going to be? You tell me it's the exact same spider pack, but it's going to be black instead of red. Is that really? Is it really?
Well, and that's what I was going to say.
Like, I'm like,
sometimes what they say and what you get are
they
not
could be
always
very different. But
that's one reason I
that's
started
why
getting like
that's why they have to send me test fucking units. I'm like, you have to give me before
an
I approve
exact
this
production piece.
a production unit. They're like, well, we made all the parts. I'm like, well, if they're not right, then like,
That's
if
like,
I
I get a
fucking
couple
send
companies
these
sending
things
me
to John
stuff.
Nolte, and John goes, this isn't the same as what you fucking got for
Happens a
testing
lot,
last
too.
time. And I told him that, hey, look, this is the data that we collected. If we fucking collect different data when the new ones get here, then like, you know, we're gonna talk.
Well, and that's the problem is you pay out all the money, and it's like if something happens or something goes wrong. Prime example, the 08. The factory put the wrong capacitor in the amplifier. They put the wrong cap. They used the cap from 05. They put them in 08, and they would be good as long as you used only 80% of the amplifier. If you were chooching like a Bobby Gately or Roth was one of them. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's good. And then it's not. And what the hell happened? And it's when you get to that last little bit there that you find out that them caps were not the right size and they explode and catch on fire.
And that's a lot of companies. The problem is a lot of companies don't have the, especially smaller companies, don't have the ability to test those things, or they don't know.
No. So and that
how,
was
I'm not saying
that was
say like in general.
So that
Okay.
was, and it was funny because that was the second run of those amplifiers. So like we had a whole first run of them, and they were fantastic. They were selling like hotcakes. You couldn't keep them in. It was great. Bobby was one of the guys who sold shit of them, sold shitload of them, and then we get the shit of them. Yes, and then we get the second batch in, sold almost all of them, and then they started catching on fire. And then
that's one thing that we talked about Kicker or whatever. They test every single product,
dude. But
every one of them.
And that's the thing though, is that like you could have put that amplifier on the bench and you could have did the whole, and it would have been fine. It would have been perfectly fine. But if you put it in your vehicle and you use it for 2.5 hours,
so that's why the dyno isn't. If you watch the Kicker video from yesterday, you see why the dyno isn't a great resource for stuff like that. Because an 8-second sweep isn't going to show you amp weakness. A 60-second power bandwidth run at full tilt for 60 seconds, you're going to find your weaknesses because it's going to explode.
I got to go, boys. I got to get out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run off, and you guys could do whatever you need to do. But I got to get out there in 5 minutes.
I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yes.
So, yeah, we could sit here and talk all night. It's been productive. Yeah. It's been a good time. I hope everybody has safe travels, and I can't wait to bring the Suburban and see if we can put some smiles on some faces. So,
all right, gentlemen, fucking love you guys. You guys have a great rest of your evening. Everybody else, go fix your fucking engine noise or wire up your shit. Go get it ready for fucking goddamn slam and be nice to people.
1 week, we gotta go.
All right, kid.
1 week.
See you guys.
Later.
Hey,